Happy Spiritual Sunday. All our friends who are out there around the world in cyberspace. Our affirmation. What's the purpose of our affirmation? I'm sure all of you are online with us. You've done this before with us. Simple. We just want to redesign our consciousness. Right? For thousands of years, a number of lifetimes, we've bought into the illusion. We've bought into the false beliefs, the false ideas in this world, and we want to just keep affirming the truth, so the truth becomes that which we live, which we're also going to speak about today. So those of you here and those of you online, say it loud, so wherever you are in the world, we can hear it. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. That's the part that's probably the hardest for us, isn't it? All human beings. Because we all got somebody in our mind somewhere, somehow, that we're not so sure we want to really wish them well. Okay. So let's see what we can do about that, shall we? You want to get rid of all the bad people in your life? Yeah. Do you really? No, not so sure. What are you going to do? What would we do if we didn't have bad people in our life? What would we complain about? Who would we blame for our problems? Right? Who would be the cause for our trouble? Ooh, that's the tough question. Who would we blame? Who would be victimizing who? If we got rid of all the bad people that we're now pointing our fingers at, or we're blaming for something that happened or is happening in our life, what's going to be? Think about it. Okay, we blame the dog. Then we get rid of the dog, right? And everything else that we'll blame. Oh, then we'll blame the teachers. Those teachers, they pushed me too hard. It's all their fault. The mailman. No, think, what's the real answer? Who would we blame? We'd have no one to blame. There would be nobody to blame. And then what would we do? Because just getting them out of our lives, you and I have learned enough, just to get them out of our lives doesn't take away our trouble. So we always have to have a finger to point at somebody. Or, as we'll get in today, there is something else that we can do. So let's start like this, that we often have inferred, but maybe it's clear, and maybe some of you never heard me say this. We all live in a schizophrenic world. Do we not? Yeah, we all live in a schizophrenic world. You and I have learned from Kabbalah 1 forward, we have two voices in our head. Yes? We have the voice of the light, the voice of the opponent, we call it. Which means what? We have the thoughts of anger, jealousy, fear, judgment, insecurity, guilt, shame, all of that are broadcasting in our mind. But at the same time, we have that other voice. We have the voice of our soul, the voice of the light, of the Creator, telling us love, kindness, compassion, generosity, humility, forgiveness, tolerance, all those good things. Have certainty and security. And if that weren't bad enough, we look around the world and we live in two different realms also. The haves and the have-nots. The get and the don't get. The happy and the sad. Do we not? And we also, on the bigger scale, we also live in what we call, here in the center, the world of illusion and the world of reality. The 1 and the 99, or as some people will call it, the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. Two different realms. But what do they all boil down to? In our very sort of human, in our very daily life, is human and divine. Human and divine. We live in two realms. The human realm and the divine realm. The realm of the body and the realm of the soul. Constantly. The sad part is that they're pulling us in opposite directions. The body wants for itself alone, and the soul doesn't want anything for itself. It wants to connect with and do good for everybody else. Bless you. See, it's true. Right? It's true. So now what are we going to do? So this is why, no wonder we all act schizophrenic in various ways. Some more obvious, as diagnosed by the psychologists, and some not so obvious, which are all the rest of the people on earth. But there's not a person on earth unless they're purely a truly righteous person, not living in those two realms and not being pulled in opposite directions some part of the day, some part of our life, in some part of our being. And so what are we going to do? We'd like to be able to distinguish between them, wouldn't we? We want to know which is which. But here's the glitch. How many of you have ever, of course, those of us present before Kabbalah, because since Kabbalah, I'm sure we don't do this anymore. You ever just gave somebody the business? They said something, did something that you didn't like, and you just gave them the business. You just told them off. You told them what they could do and where they could go and how they could do that. And you think back and you say, man, I felt powerful. I showed them who I really am. So it feels good. Must be the good realm. And then we have those times where we think, you know what? Whatever, a significant person in my life wants to go somewhere. I don't really feel like it, but I want to do the good thing for this person. And so we go along. We go to the event. We go to the place. We do whatever it is. It doesn't always feel so good, does it? But we think we're doing something good. So no wonder that opponent has resource, has material to work on us. Well, you remember the time you thought you were sharing, it didn't work out very good, you didn't feel very good. And you probably even got in a fight after the event or the next day because of it. But when you told that person off, they kowtowed, they backed down. And you know what? They've been obedient ever since. So now we're even more confused. And then you come here to the center and you take your class and you hear the teacher say, yes, you want to be like the light and you want to live in the 99. And you're thinking to yourself, no, I don't. I want to tell that person off because look, they're doing everything I ask now. Right? When I acted, as we call it, reactively, I got my way. I got what I want. But when I helped somebody, when I gave, when I shared, not always did it feel the same way. So now we're really in trouble. Now we're really in trouble. So we can either continue living this way or we can start to change it. How many of you have no chaos, no confusion, no sense of lack, wanting left in your life? Nobody here? You better keep taking Kabbalah classes then. Keep coming to Spiritual Sunday, right? We all have some kind of lack. We have some kind of discord. We have something missing in our lives, yes? And we keep trying to find it. But, you know, what do they say is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Why don't we see we've been doing that for lifetimes and lifetimes? At least, let's say those of you who may not yet be open to reincarnation, even this lifetime. Why the same things keep happening over and over again if we really believe we're trying to do things differently? Because this world of illusion doesn't mean it has no impact on us. Illusion means that if we think we see something, we're not really seeing it. That's why they call the world of illusion the world of five senses. What's the world of reality? The sixth sense. And how do we know? Just ask yourself. Look back any time your five senses ever told you go in one direction, all your logic and your experience and this, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this voice, that small, still voice comes to you and says, go exactly the opposite way. Ever happened to you? They're in conflict, direct conflict. 99.999% of the time, after the fact, somewhere during the day or the next day, which one turned out to be right? The logic of the five senses or the sixth sense, that little intuitive voice? The sixth sense. So why do we keep giving so much power to our five senses? One of the examples that my teachers, the Rav and Karen, always used to use. What are our eyes supposed to do? See. Yes, we're supposed to be able to see things. So if I ask you, see the couch you have at home. Go ahead. See the couch you want to have at home, that you have at home. What's the first thing we probably do? Close our eyes. Okay, I'm envisioning the couch I have at home. Why are you closing your eyes if your eyes are to see? Because that's the paradox. Our five senses are limited. The sixth sense, which we understand comes from the light of the Creator, our soul inside of it's completely unlimited. Completely unlimited. So then which realm do we want to live in? Body or soul? So you have people, think of that, you have people in this world who try and live only on the soul. They go up the mountaintop, they live all by themselves, they isolate themselves, they try and negate the body by not feeding it, not taking care of it, whatever, and just connect and commune with the universe. Not the Kabbalistic way. And then, of course, you have the opposite, which is probably most of the planet, or most of the people on the planet, unconsciously doing this, because it doesn't mean they're bad people, but what are they doing? Me, myself, and I. I have to survive, I have to get, I have to have, I have to do, etc. They're giving into the body, and not so much to the soul. And that also is not working out, because that's just creating divisiveness. What's the difference between you and me? Why could we say, well, you're all over here, those of you in Boca, and those of you around the world, you're all out there? Why is there a difference? Why is there a space between us? Is it the soul has this space? The body has this space. We say, my body is over here, your body is over there. That's the difference. So what do we want to do here Kabbalistically? The power of the center. Teach us how to harmonize them. Bring everything into oneness. Even as we teach it, there's the 99% realm of the soul, there's the 1% realm of the body, the physicality. When we can combine them together harmoniously, how much have we got? 99 plus 1 is 100. 100. We all want 100%. But that's going to mean harmonizing our body and soul, harmonizing the 1 and the 99, harmonizing even the two voices in our head. Instead of letting them oppose each other, you and I have the ability, and it's ultimately our spiritual work and destiny, to bring them into harmony, to make them work together. Not opposites. But how are we going to do that? So let's start like this. We just affirmed consciousness is everything. So if we want to bring harmony between the body and the soul, the two voices in our head, the two realms that we live in, and as I just heard Michael Berg was talking about, they're mirrors of each other. We have this realm of illusion where we see all the pain, suffering, death, and chaos, but we've all come to know at the same time there's another realm where there's peace, harmony, joy, eternal bliss. So how can you and I live today to start harmonizing those two? So the first thing, consciousness. One is to realize the soul is our eternal part. We are pure and perfect beings of light. Pure and perfect beings of light. So then what's the body? The body is simply the vehicle that allows us to operate the soul in this world. You ever driven a car? Driven a car, not a passenger. You've driven a car? So then what's the car? The car is the vehicle. It just carries out our desire. You want to go from your home, those of you who are here, you want to go from home to here, the Kabbalah Center? The vehicle, the car, did your bidding. But you used it as a means to get here. So too our soul chose out of the endless world to take on this physical vehicle as a means to operate in the physical material world. And even though we're not always aware of it, it's still doing our bidding 24/7. It's just unfortunately when we have unconscious negative thoughts, negative about us or other people, then the vehicle called our body does the bidding. It just manifests that. That's what a vehicle is. It's just manifesting us. The second part is we have to realize who's driving the car. That's our choice. Who's driving the body? We have the two voices, the one we listen to, either the ego or our soul. We decide who's driving this car, who's driving this vehicle. So we have to think, if we have the choice, then which one are we choosing? Keeping in mind the ego, giving into the body, we mentioned a little bit, is simply desire to receive oneself alone, which ultimately teaches us instant gratification, long-term chaos. We get what we want now, and then when it all falls apart, because it's been a week, a day, 6 months, a year, we forgot. We didn't realize that whatever's coming our way is the effect of something we did. When we gave in to the ego, the body consciousness. When we give into the soul, yeah, it may not show up right away. We might not feel that same goodness. But long term, we're going to feel a lot better about it, because when we give in and let the soul be our guide, then we know more and more of our light is being revealed. And the more light being revealed, because the light is the only source of lasting fulfillment, we're better off. We have greater happiness, joy, peace, prosperity, clarity, all the good things, all the things we really want, all the things that we are destined for. Now here's the glitch. When you drive your car and you're backing out of your driveway, out of your garage, what gear do you put the car in? Some of you not sure? You're backing out of the driveway. I put it in drive, right through the garage door, right? You put it in reverse. Now you get out of the driveway and you want to start driving to where you're going. What gear do you want it to be in? You want it to be in drive, right? You want it to go forward. But isn't it interesting how the physical illusionary world is patterned on the spiritual world, as we're about to get into here? But in order to take your car from reverse to drive, what does it have to do first? You got to go through the neutral. RND. DNR. Drive, neutral, reverse. Reverse, neutral, drive. Every car. If you're driving a stick shift, you may not have a neutral, but you've got a clutch that puts it in neutral. So it's all the same idea. So then how are we going to shift our drivers? How are we going to change the driver of our vehicle, called our body, and therefore our life, from the ego to the soul? From the opponent to the light of the Creator? How are we going to do that? And this is the part that we have to be ready, willing, and able. We are able, ready and willing to do. It's going to take effort. We got to work at it. Just like you see the movies, okay? Maybe it's a little strong out there, but you ever see these movies where, the good guy is chasing the bad guy and the bad guy's in the car? So what does he do? He grabs the bad guy through the window of the car, pulls him out of the car, and he gets in and drives the car away. Things like that. Okay, we have to be able to do the same thing. We have to be willing to make the effort to pull the bad guy, our ego, our selfishness, our illusion, all of our anger, jealousy, greed, blame, victimization. We got to be willing to pull that out and replace it with love, kindness, compassion, etc. Replace it with the light. If you're not willing to do that, then I'm going to tell you where you're going to end up. Because ultimately, what is the Zohar? The blueprint of the universe, which is the Zohar, tells us a simple thing. The essence of our spiritual work, as we're kind of boiling it down here, is to make the ego, make what's called traditionally the evil inclination, the opponent, the adversary, serve our soul, serve our purpose here. That's why those of you taking classes with me, I often call our ability to make the opponent work for us. We turn him from the adversary and the opponent and the challenger and opposition, we turn him into our quality control agent, quality control officer. We came out of the endless world to present in this world our pure and perfect soul. Let it be 100% manifest. So what really is the opponent doing? Pointing out where we're not doing that. Where am I not sharing? Where am I falling into blame, victimization, jealousy, ego, fear, insecurity, guilt, and shame? All the things that are not light. That's what the opponent's there to point out. So if I work with the opponent in that way, if I work with the body for the sake of the light, then the body will follow and just be the vehicle of the light. So in order to shift gears, Here's a few examples. You ready? Are you ready out there? No? Okay, good. Okay. So shifting gears. 1, let's say you feel angry. Remember when you used to feel angry? Because I'm sure we don't anymore. Right? You're feeling angry? Pause, neutral. Stop and think, what do I want? Which driver do I want? Do I want the ego and instant gratification, long-term chaos? Do I want the light and short-term effort, but long-term peace and harmony? So shift from the feelings and the thoughts of anger, shift it into thoughts and actions of tolerance, compassion. The person that just made you angry, step into their shoes for a moment. Maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe something happened and now they're just letting the steam out, finding a way to release their stress, and you just happen to be standing there. The beauty is when you put your vehicle into that gear, kindness, compassion, tolerance, feeling their pain, then as you drive down the rest of your life past that person, what are you driving with? Kindness, love, compassion, tolerance, stepping into their shoes, feeling their pain, so you're doing something to remove the pain from the world. And then as you drive the rest of the road of your day, you're going to receive more of that because the universe will reflect what we do. How about feeling sad? Every now and then, something goes on, we feel sad, yes? The same thing. You want to shift gears? Pause. Shift into neutral. Easiest thing, because we can't always come up with the exact thing to do in the moment. Let's understand the general idea. If you're feeling sad, pause, realize what part of us is actually feeling sad. Does the soul ever feel sad? No. So then who's feeling sad? The body, the ego, desire to see oneself alone. So pause, neutral. Now let's decide, no, I want to put it in the gear of the light. So how do I do that? Just find a way, any way you could think of in the moment to do something. And if there's no physical beings around you, then just start consciously, intensively thinking, sending light from your soul out to people around the world who are sad, just to make them happy. If you can do a physical action for somebody that will make them happy, even telling them a joke, just let them get out of their misery for a moment so they can start to move in a different direction also. Do something, because as you act to help somebody else feel happy, how are you going to start feeling? A little happier. And then more clarity will come to you. If you feel confused, not that any of us today feel confused, look at the world. All right? Why? The big question. You know, it's funny, when I came to the center, that was the thing that the Rav and Karen always emphasized. In traditional religions or whatever, don't ask why, you just follow. You walk in the Kabbalah center, we say, no, ask a question. Because if you don't understand, then you're not really applying. You can't be living it. You can't be living it. So confusion, why? Why is this going? Why can't they see this? Why aren't they doing that? How can people do? All those questions come up. I'm confused. How do bad things happen to good people? How do good things happen to bad people? It's confusing. Why are children born suffering? All those questions of confusion. So what are we going to do? Pause. First and most valuable thing, pause, neutral. Stop moving in that direction. Right? You're driving your car. I don't know if you've ever done it by accident, but I remember when I first started driving. You know, drive, and then I accidentally hit the gear shift into neutral. So you're doing 50 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. No, just kidding. Right? And you slip it into neutral by mistake. Suddenly, the car will still go, but slowly, it's getting slower and slower. Right? Because the momentum, the power isn't there. So when we put ourselves in that moment that we're feeling confused, or whatever the reactive feeling, pause. Put it in neutral. That will start to slow down. Then it's easier for us to think like this. Just start realizing, if I'm feeling confused, shift into any form of thoughts of sharing. Because sharing will always bring greater light, clarity, and awareness. Any form of sharing. Because sharing reveals the light, and as the light is revealed, the darkness of confusion starts to disappear. Now, I know the opponent's already starting to tell you, really, Chaim? Really? I've tried that before. Well, two possibilities. Either you didn't try hard enough, or even if you've been learning and you really made that effort, you're scanning your Zohar and sending light out to people, really just to bring light, and you still didn't see it, then you weren't looking hard enough. Because remember, even you're sending light, even you're scanning your Zohar, you're doing Ana B'Koach and shining light on the world, you think the opponent's going to give up? No, the opponent in your head going to distract you from seeing the blessing that came, trying to distract you from having the clarity. What's the answer? What's the solution to your confusion? So you still have to work. You still have to work. Now, something I heard yesterday from Michael Berg, and if you're on Kabbalah.com, I would encourage you, go back and listen to what he said yesterday, Saturday morning. I'm going to just touch on it, but it was like woke me up to a new level, as I'm about to share with you. He says like this, we all know, how big is the light? The light is infinite. What's the nature of the light? The Creator's light, constantly shining on us. It's only, there is no part of the light of God that's not 100% sharing and fulfilled. So it's like they say, what's it called? With a, wow, just lost the word. What do you call it when you take the picture and you break it into pieces and it's a laser so every little piece has the whole thing? All right, so here the light, meaning everywhere in you and me is 100% light. There's no just we have a piece of the light. That's the concept. Inside of us is the full force of the infinite light of the Creator. That's what we want to understand. Therefore, as we've discussed in various ways, you and I are already filled. Our soul is filled with everything we could ever imagine. All the aspects of joy, happiness, prosperity, abundance, love, kindness, protection, health, all the good things. We're filled with it. Now, the way he put it yesterday, he says, but remember, we all live in a multiverse. We all live in parallel universes. There's us where we exist now, and then there's the pure and perfect us that's also existing in this moment, just in a higher level. So let's make it simple. Let's say there are 10 universes. So there's the 10%, the 20%, you follow, till the top universe is the 100% us. We're revealing pure and perfectly all of the light of the Creator inside of us. Let's say, we'll be nice to ourselves, that we're all on our 60th level, right? So we're on level 6. So right now on level 6, this, as he said, this is where we're meeting the Creator. We're meeting the light force on this level right now, which means look around your life. Whatever you have, you have. In this level called 60. Or like he said yesterday, he says, so on this level, whatever it is, it's, 1 penny. But then as we go into our 70 level, 80 level, 90 level and higher, suddenly the 1 penny becomes $1,000. On a higher level, it becomes $100,000. On a higher level, it becomes millions of dollars. Because we're meeting the light on higher levels where more of it is being revealed, because on the lower levels, less being expressed, less being revealed. So then our work is to keep in mind, where are we meeting the light? And how happy are we where we are? So, like we said, most of us, our inherent human nature, I don't want to change. Right? And be objective if you're those people who say, oh no, I'm always into the change, always changing, always changing. So look back with your Kabbalah eyes and see if those things you thought you were changing were still in the realm of the body, still in the realm of the ego, still in the realm of the desire to see oneself alone. And again, not in a hateful, really negative way, but just I was only focused on me, myself, and I. Improved my health, improved the way I dressed, improved the way I did my hair, put my makeup, whatever it may have been, right? Or the people I associated, or the clubs I went to, or the bars that I went to, or whatever, the restaurants. But it's just changing the form. It's still on the side of the reactivity. It's still on the side of the 1% of the body. So it wasn't a real change. Because as we're now discussing, the real change is from the ego being the driver or the body to the soul being the driver. That's a real change. And that takes effort, applied effort. So then, one, we have to realize to wake up the desire. Do we really want more? Do we really want more? Or, the way I want to call it today, stay or grow. You're in this level now, you don't want to change, so you say, I want to stay here. Don't want to grow, because I like where I am. And don't be fooled by saying, no, but I've got, difficulties in this world. I got difficult. So the Rav used to say, a lot of people, you and I in our various ways, we love to hug our chaos. Like we said in the beginning today, if there were no one to blame for your bad feelings, then what would you have to do? Take responsibility. I'd have to grow out of it. I'd have to do something uncomfortable, sharing forgiveness or tolerance or generosity or humility. So as long as I have someone to blame, oh yeah, it's a little painful, but it's also more comfortable than it is painful. Because now I don't have to change. It's they who have to change, because if they change, then my life would be better. So whatever level you're on, ask yourself, stay or grow, stay or grow. So let's think of it maybe in a little more practical, down to earth. Remember when you started working? You get a job, your entry-level job, right? Entry-level job. Now, some people like to stay there. It suits them, they're fine, it's not a lot, they're not asking a lot of them, they do their job, whatever, they feel okay with their income, etc., and their lifestyle. That's it. Other people, they get in the entry job, they do the job, and now what happens? No, they want to grow. They want to advance. They want a promotion to the next level. In order to get promoted, what do they have to do? Work a little harder. Here's the key. Are they doing something that was not within their ability, their inherent ability in the entry level? No, they didn't suddenly get a new talent or ability. They had it inside them. But the person who decided to stay instead of grow, they never used those talents and abilities that are latent inside, that are potential inside. The person who says, no, I want to make more money, I want more responsibility, whatever, a higher level, they're now taking what's inside them that's hibernating potential, and they're making it active. So when they go to the next level, and you get the idea, all the good things, they got more status, they make more money, they're responsible, supervising more people, etc. And on that level, they say the same thing, stay or grow. Maybe they're happy just being the manager, when they could be maybe the vice president, because it's inside them already, the vice president, but stay where I am. So then they have to be happy with what they've got. The good part, happy with, and the chaotic part. If they're not happy with the chaotic part, then grow. Take more of what's inside and grow. So it's always a question of wherever we are, stay or grow, stay or grow, stay or grow. Now, just to make sure it's clear, it doesn't mean that we should not enjoy the level we just moved up to. Enjoy it. Appreciate it. Experience it. And at the same time realize, but there's more that's been given to you. There's more possibility, more potential. Use that potential to get to the ultimate. So it's stay or grow until we reach 100%. Then we have grown 100%. That's all that can be asked, but that's all we all want. At 100%, we're completely blissed out. We don't care what other people have or do. What about relationship? You enter into a relationship. Okay, somebody catches your eye. Okay, let's go out for coffee, let's have dinner, whatever it is. Stay or grow. Same thing. Maybe you just stay here. We'll just go out to dinner, just have coffee, whatever it is you're doing. Could be that way too. Then what happens? Oh, now you start to say, wow, I'm a little more interested in this person. There's something a little more attractive. There's something a little more that I feel a connection. Well, you want to grow to the next level. You can't just go out to dinner the same way or have the coffee the same way or behave the same way. No, got to put more effort into it. Bring more of what's inside you out. Now you get to that next level. Whatever you want to call that, I'm not going to tell you. That's up to you. Whatever that is. But then again, stay or grow, stay or grow. So you can stay, but if we stay too long in one level, what does it become? Taking for granted, not thinking about, not appreciating, etc. Right? But inside of us, we're still feeling there's more, because there is more. Stay or grow. So I don't care if you're new in a relationship 6 months or it's 25 years, there's always stay or grow. Because staying the same, whether it's business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's family, friends, hobbies, whatever it is, if it's stay, it will slowly decay. Because if it's not growing, it's going to decay. So it's stay or grow, stay or grow, stay or grow in every form of our life. Keep in mind, though, the Creator already gave us what we can grow into. We're not doing something that's not our capability. We're not asked to be somebody that we are not. We are asked just to be the person that the Creator created. That's why, in various ways, and some of you have been on Kabbalah.com, you've probably heard a lot of this. When a person goes upstairs, when they leave this world and they go upstairs, nobody says to the person, let's say it's Joe. Nobody looks at Joe and says, Joe, why weren't you like a Moses? Why weren't you like a, Muhammad or Jesus or Buddha or somebody? No. Why weren't you the Joe that you were created to be? That's all we're asked. That's all we're asked. Because remember, when we're completely living our potential, we're blissed out. We don't compare ourselves with other people. We don't look and say, well, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, because we're there 100%. And the beauty of that is then we are connecting ourselves. We're taking away the space called the body. So even if we're in different physical bodies, but by connecting to the soul of other people as we grow that way, we're removing the space in the physical 1% that the body could, if we're only connected to the 5 senses 1%, could create that blockage. We're taking away that blockage. We're closer. Even if you think the whole ultimate Kabbalistic idea of love means there's still two bodies, but love means they feel so close to each other, connecting soul to soul, that it's as if the body were just disappearing and it was just two souls united. But there's still a body, but they don't experience the limitation of the body. They don't experience the distance or the space between the body. So you and I, the same thing. Individually, we just spoke about it. Collectively, it's still the same thing. Stay or grow. Do you want the world to just be okay where it's okay today and let the chaos that's out there in places just be chaos? So it's also stay or grow. And you and I, because of what we learn here in the center, we have the ability to bring the world to grow, all 8 billion people, as we grow also. Because the more we grow, the higher we grow, the more we realize their soul is really my soul. And as I'm growing, I want to take that piece of my soul that happens to be in their body right now, I want it to also grow up with me. I want it to also elevate. I also want it to evolve spiritually. So as we're taking that piece of our soul that's in those 8 billion bodies, then those bodies also being influenced to come up with us. And suddenly those people out there will also have an awakening of the light of the Creator inside them, as you and I are having more and more of that awakening. That's how the Kabbalists say the few can transform the many. Because it's about the consciousness, it's about the energy, it's about the effort, it's the amount of light that we shine on the rest of the world that will wake them up to their potential. Again, we're not making them people that they're not. We're just helping them to take away the part where they are behaving in ways that are not their true being. not their true light self, as we're doing for ourselves. So the more we want from life, the more of our potential, then the more we have to make the effort. Overcome the body, force the body, make the body serve the soul. That's up to us because we have a greater potential. There is a nice story that they'll close here, and then we'll do a meditation, as we've been doing, getting some nice feedback about the meditations. Story of the Baal Shem Tov, a great Kabbalist, one of the highest souls that ever existed in the 1700s. And he was so connected to his soul and the universal soul, that supercomputer, let's call it, that he was always being guided to do different things, go different places, meet different people, etc. So one of the stories goes, he takes a few of his students and he gets directed to go to this poor man's house. So the guy lives in a little hovel, just barely making enough for he and his wife to exist at all. Baal Shem Tov goes, and of course this man knew who the Baal Shem Tov was, so he's ecstatic that the Baal Shem Tov will come into his poor little hovel house. So of course he sits down the Baal Shem Tov and a few of the students that are there with him, and he starts to give him whatever food he's got. Baal Shem Tov eating like he's never eaten before, right? Just like stuffing himself. Asks for more. The man takes everything out of his cabinets. What little he's got, he feeds the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov keeps eating. And even the students of the Baal Shem Tov are looking at their master, their teacher, like, what's he doing? This is, he's so loving and compassionate. Why is he eating these people out of house and home? And basically eats them literally out of house and home. Right? The one cow that gave milk, that they had enough money to survive, he even made them go and slaughter the cow and cook it, and he ate the cow too. So they had nothing. And then they left. So the poor man, now he doesn't know what to do. I mean, he realizes whatever the blessing was to be able to serve this Kabbalist, but now he doesn't know how he's going to survive, what's going to happen. So he goes out in the forest and he just breaks down. He just basically surrenders. He looks up in the heavens. God, I need help. I don't know what to do. I appreciate the Baal Shem Tov and this and this and this, but I have nothing now. And I'm just a poor man. What do I do? And just to cut it short, a man comes along, ultimately, because he was out there surrendering to the light, he was able to manifest the riches that the Creator gave him. So he became not only a wealthy man, but also a great philanthropist, generous, helped all people, back in those times, to take people out of debtor's prison, to give orphans money for weddings, etc. Anything he could do to help, he was doing it. The students of the Baal Shem Tov understood then after the fact why their teacher had eaten him out of house and home. It was a way of forcing this man to live into his potential. Because he was what? In the level of just the poor, guy with a little money from the milk. He was happy, or not happy, but he was just stuck staying at that level. And the Baal Shem Tov was directed from the upper worlds that this man is now ready to manifest all of his true potential. Because obviously he had such a good heart and he wanted to help so many people, but as a poor man, he couldn't. So you and I, we may not have a Baal Shem Tov to come and eat us out of house and hope, to push us to surrender. But we do have things going on in our life. And if we, as we say today, if we look at all our difficulties and all our troubles and all the negative things that voice in our head, the opponent, the adversary, the competitor is telling us, and if we look at that as eating us out of house and home, pushing us to surrender to the light of the Creator, and then when we really awakening and strengthening our desire to grow, a craving for what we can already perceive, at least on our next level. If you're at 60, we're already seeing 70 or 80. But we on a surrender, we have to make the effort to take the driver of the ego out of that portion that he's there and put in more of our soul. But as we will do that, remember, you and I have the capability, the Kabbalists have been telling us for at least the last 32 years, the world is ready, able, capable to have complete peace on earth. But it's up to you and I to, one, have a stronger desire for us not to stay, but to grow. And as we will grow, set the example and create an energy force out there that we will be collectively like that Baal Shem Tov, that we will cause the awakening so strongly in every soul, every person on earth, that they will never want to just stay, but they will always want to grow. God bless. So I would like to do our offering first, and then we'll do the meditation on one of the 72 names. For those of you who are here online with us, whoops. Okay. I've posted the giving site. Again, one, I want to appreciate all the support that you give us to help us not only maintain the physical centers, but also to grow the projects of the center. Mainly, the two main prongs are the scholarship program, Karen Berg Scholarship Fund, which then allows us to bring people to understand the power of the Zohar and then spreading the Zohar. Some of you are familiar. What we have going on is also, we have a few projects along the way, whether it's the printing of the books that help raise people's consciousness, whether it's now we have new technology. And you know me in technology, but we have like new apps coming out. We have all kinds of new technological things that you could also support if you'd like to go on Kabbalah.com and check those out. And of course, dear to all of us here today is Spiritual Sunday. So that's why you can also donate for that and help us grow and expand. So let's just hold our offering in our hands. Those of you online, just close your eyes, do this meditation with us, and then you're welcome to go on the website to give. Just to appreciate, money is energy. As we come to understand more and more, it's not ours. It's given to us to be a conduit, to be a manager of, to be a steward of that which the Creator's given us, and to bring it in all way, shape, or form to share and impact other people with light. And so we strengthen and increase the gratitude we have and appreciation for all that the Creator has implanted in our soul that allows us to have what we have, to do what we can do, and even to be here and have the merit to know this wisdom and have these tools and this technology to never want to stay and always want to grow. And then we know by sharing our gifts, this donation through the center and the projects of the center, we are literally reaching 8 billion souls and hearts, awakening them out of the darkness and into the light. And we know that the universe will reflect that back to us. The more we bring light into the world, the more that light is reflected back into our world. And so with true love, light, and blessing, we send this out into the world, knowing that it will bring many blessings many times over into our lives. And together we say, Amen. So those of you who are with us, I'd like to, we have here, talk about technology. So those of you who are here, you look at this. Those of you who are online, this is one of the 72 names, Aleph Kaf Aleph. It's allowing us, it's called the DNA of our soul. So as we talked about today, the DNA of our soul is 100%. And I would like to do a meditation using this. And if you're unfamiliar, the Hebrew letters are just particles of the light of the Creator, primordial forces. Our eyes being windows to the soul, our soul already being programmed by the Creator. By just looking at it, visualizing these shapes, we are allowing that light to wake up inside of us. So just get a good vision of it. So it's in your mind's eye. And then close your eyes. Sit in your chair comfortably Feet flat on the floor, hands on your lap. Taking a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, hold it, and exhale through your mouth. As you inhale, take the breath all the way into the abdomen, all the way through head to toe, and exhale to remove all blockages. Feeling more and more of our true light beingness. Feel yourself wrapped in the warmth of the light, the endless light of the Creator. Becoming more and more aware of the endless light shining from above onto you, all of us, and the entire world. And now envisioning Aleph, Chaf, Aleph. As the light comes from the upper worlds, see it channeling through, activating the light, Aleph, Chaf, Aleph. And then let those particles enter through the top of your head, awakening the DNA of the Creator inside us. Aleph, Chaf, Aleph. Activating the parts of your soul that have not been used, not been revealed yet. Let it travel from head to toe, activating in every cell of your body the light of the DNA of the Creator and your true, pure, and perfect selves. And now allow these forces to settle into your soul. And seeing this light of the Aleph, Chaf, Aleph expand, activating more and more of that light in your soul, and seeing, hearing, and feeling what this newly awakened aspect of your soul is sharing with you. Ideas, clear visions, power to continue to grow, strengthening your desire, your craving for the next level of your soul's potential. And as this new part of your soul is being awakened, in your mind's eye, reach out the light from your soul to the heart and soul of every person on earth, with greater knowingness that we are all one, part of one spiritual being. So that as you're awakening, activating this higher level of your soul. It's also awakening and activating the higher level of every person on earth. Envision how each person is now having that awakening, that aha moment. Clarity in their confusion, greater kindness where they were judging, more forgiveness where they were hurt, and more apology, making up for the hurt that they've inflicted on others. Seeing all of that one soul spiritual being becoming more and more united. That together the physical world, in all of its facets, all aspects, becoming more and more a vehicle just to do the bidding of our soul. That you and I and every person acting, doing more actions, the true essence of love your neighbor as yourself, as we are seeing that there is no they, that it is all us. Take note of this new feeling, this new awareness, the tingling inside you, the greater happiness, joy, peace, and serenity that's awakened. And together we commit ourselves to continue to grow. And take one more deep breath, anchoring this vision, this consciousness inside you. And slowly exhale and open your eyes. Okay, all of you out there in cyberspace, thank you for joining us. Have an amazing week. Please write me your questions, your experiences, your miracles, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.